Hello and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sport. And some breaking news. The first All Black squad of 2023 has been announced. A couple of new faces in the squad. A couple of big players left out by Ian Foster. And Sam Cane continuing as captain as sort of expected, really. But it's quite a contentious decision at the moment because he hasn't been playing his best rugby in the last few years. Well, I do think that he's definitely starting to step it up as of late. And I think that he'll come the World Cup. I think he'll be the Sam Cane that we sort of all knew a couple of years ago. But it's an interesting squad, and it's causing a little bit of division. There are some brilliant players in here. There's a couple of big names that have been left out for me. It's an All Black squad that will definitely compete come the World Cup, and I think if you don't think they're going to, I think you're lying to yourself. Yes, I think the last 2 years that they've been beatable, but there's no doubt that last year they did take steps forward, and they started badly, and I think they've sort of started kind of sort of start to come together a little bit. And I do think that come the World Cup, New Zealand are always a factor. They are always in it. They are always they're very rarely don't go in as favourites. I think this might be one of the first World Cups ever where they're not going in as one of the top two favourites. But if you look at the top four teams, I think they are because they're All Blacks, and that's kind of just what they do. Before we look at the squad, please do smash like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. So this is what has been announced. And let's go through it, shall we? So in the hookers over here, you've got Cody Taylor, Dane Coles, and Samasoni Takawau, quality player. I think that Coles will probably be the one that won't find that final 23. I do think that Takawau has cemented a spot then. I think Cody Taylor will back him up. Ethan de Groot, Fletcher Newell, Nepalua Lala, Opa Tuanga Farsi, Tamati Williams, Tua Lomax. Good players, very good players. I do think this has been a part of the All Blacks side, which has maybe been a bit of a letdown. That front row, that sort of scrum power. It's back when you used to have Frank's brothers, for example. And you'd sit there and you'd worry about that All Blacks front row. I don't think that this front row, sends shivers down the spines of oppositions, for example. I think it's a front row that people think they can get at. If you look at the locks, for example, Brodie Retallick, Josh Lord, nice young lock there. Sam Whitelock, Scott Barrett, Tupo Vai. It's a good mix, I think. And I think Brodie Retallick and Sam Whitelock, I mean, they're pretty timeless, aren't they? I think, and they're players who've been there, done that over the years. I think that Scott Barrett, potentially about to captain the Crusaders to a Super Rugby title. It'd be interesting to sort of see how they use them because I don't see. I mean, we've seen Scott Barrett on the flank. I don't think we'll see that too much for the All Blacks. You then got Artie Sevier, Delta Papali, Luke Jacobson, Sam Cane, Sam Penny, Finau, new cap and cap player added to the squad, and Shannon Frizzell rounding up the forwards there. We know that from a loose forward perspective, they're second to very few. There are some brilliant loose forward combinations. I think Ireland's loose forward combination, I think France's loose combination, the South African loose forward combination are all pretty world class. And I think New Zealand one's no different, to be honest. Artie Sevier, arguably the best number 8 in the world at the moment. Sam Cane, if he gets back to his best, is a quality player. But I think it's a pack that really needs to stand up. I think it's the pack that sometimes in the past couple of years have been matched and sometimes outmuscled. And if the pack rocks up, it's that lays the foundation for a lot of very exciting players in this back line. But that's always been sort of the case. I think that's always been sort of the underrated part of New Zealand rugby over the last decade. When they were at their best, the 2011, 2015 World Cups, they had phenomenal backline players. I mean, you had your Dan Carters, your Ma Nanus, Conrad Smiths, Ben Smiths. There were so many phenomenal backline players. Aaron Smith, obviously, dictating things, but they played behind such a good pack. And this pack, if we get it right, will unlock so many of these players. So if you look at the scrum masters, Aaron Smith, Finley Christie, Cameron Roygaard has been included as a new cap. I cannot understand the lack there of Brad Weber. I think that he's someone who, for me, would walk into the squad. I'm very surprised at the lack of him. I think that the experience he brings. I think he's a quality player. I think he could very much. I think he should be backing up Aaron Smith. To be honest, I like Finley Christie. I think he's a nice young player. I think Brad Weber's got more strings to his bow, for example. And then you've got Bowden Barrett, Dan McKenzie, Richie Mwanga, McKenzie back at the return of the Mac. Very much sort of started making his return to New Zealand rugby towards the end of last year. Has now played a full season of Super Rugby and is back in the squad. Very interesting to see how they sort of get all three of these players into that 23 because you can't leave any of them out. You've got Bowden Barrett, who's a World Player of the Year. You've got Damian McKenzie, who I think for me on his day is one of the most exciting players with ball in hand in the world. Richie Mwanga, who, has got Super Rugby title after Super Rugby title and sort of bench Beauden Barrett when he was the best, one of the best players in the world. Anton Brown, good player, good to have him back. Geordie Barrett, Rico Ioane, Braden Ennett, Dallas McLeod, a new player there. No David Havili, no Jack Goodhue. And to be honest, as a non-New Zealand fan and as a fan of a team that's playing against New Zealand, that sparks good news to me. And for that reason, it's weird to not have them around. I think that for me, I think the centers have been an issue for New Zealand. I still have my doubts about Rico Ioane as an international world-class outside center. I still think he's just so much better on the wing. Geordie Barrett, I think will probably start to play 12 quite a lot. I think that's probably where he needs to settle in an All Blacks jersey. And I think Anton Brown's a really good player. But Jack Goodhue, David Havili, those are two players when they're on their best, they scare me. They are players that when you watch them run out and you sit there and you look at a team sheet and I see those two players when they're playing at their best, it makes me nervous. And I think that for me should be enough to sort of warrant their selection. Players who oppositions do not want to see in their side. And maybe it's a different way of looking about it. And obviously, I think Braden Ennett is starting to be. I think he played pretty well this weekend. Very much stepping up his game, but just like when you go up against a French team and you see Antoine Dupont and Romain Intermac in that halfback axis, you go, that's a problem. When you go and you play against Ireland, for example, and you've got Dan Sheehan playing, you go, that's a whole different. I mean, they've got lots of depth, for example, to Ireland. But even if you look at their loose trio, if Josh Van is not there, you're going, okay, they're actually missing something. And I just think that centre-wise, the All Blacks have been trying a lot of different things the last couple of years, and they don't really have a centre pairing right now, which scares me. But yeah, we'll wait and see how they go. And then you've got Caleb Clark, Imoni Noah as a new cap, Lester Fainganuka, Mark Tellier, Will Jordan. Sean Stevenson has been added as injury cover for Mark Tellier. Well, that's been quite a contentious one. People saying that after the season he's had, how can he not be in the squad anyway? And a lot of people saying that he's leaps and bounds ahead of the likes of a Dallas McLeod, for example. Can play in different positions, very versatile player, Sean Stevenson. But who knows? He's been added as cover, and he's got an opportunity now. If he trains well, for example, he impresses the coach and stuff during the camp. Then maybe he can really sort of push to make that final World Cup squad. But that is how it looks, and be interested to see how they get all these various different players into their starting 15, into a 23. We'll find out in a couple of weeks' time. But let me know what you think of the squad down in the comments below. Smash like on the video, subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Steven, and I'll chat to you soon.